Hello, hello everyone. This is Dregn Durant of the Yasuhiro88ch. How are we all doing today? Hope you're ready for some space. We got Horizon Exploration coming at you again this Sunday. Episode 3, starting very soon here. And let's go ahead and get into it and get our party members into the chat here. So here we go. Party members, are you there?
Hi there.
We
All
are.
right.
Hello, hello.
How's it going?
So, once again, we're going to be kicking off Horizon Exploration, the sci-fi tabletop RPG of the channel. Exploring a bit of the unknown, and our party had last left off after a bit of a crash landing onto a planet called Aurora Green. And Aurora Green is a planet that once upon a time resembled very much like the Earth that we know, but after a catastrophe about a dozen years ago, a decade or so ago, left the planet in a very unstable state. And since then, the local authorities, as well as Dynasty Solutions, one of the prominent corporations within the expanse of this universe, has been looking into Aurora Green with great interest. Dynasty Solutions, which is currently the owners of Bora Station, a space station that orbits Aurora Green, is where our party members had met, or at least our party members were gathered to before they were unknowingly departed and dropped to planetside. And while on the planet, they initially found themselves in a bit of a cave network, and within found some very interesting creatures. And with that, let's actually get over here to our game screen here. Now, the party encountered through this cave network some creatures that, I don't know, what does our party think about the unusual insectoids that dwelled these caves? These creatures
God.
here.
Crystal loving spiders.
I was gonna say I need the dwarf to say like ugly bastards or something like that.
Well, to be fair, if they might have been sweet creatures, unless
I
Koji didn't, cause
Yeah,
a bit of a
whatever they are,
stir.
they're dead now.
I'm
Yeah.
not tasting them. Are you?
Fortunately, the party had managed to make it out of the encounter relatively intact, thankfully to some quick thinking from a few party members and some unusual behavior from those creatures. One of which, our loving rage boy Koji, had also then encountered a bit of a unusual creature deeper within the caves when he was split off from the party. And though not much has yet been revealed of what this creature may be, Koji was also, I don't know, call it under the influence. So who knows if his decisions were for better or for worse. But after passing through a small side tunnel, the party had found themselves closer to some light, which seemed to indicate the outside world, and made their way for the first time out into the open skies of Aurora Green. Now, Aurora Green is again a very desolate planet now, a bit war-torn, and much of the landscape inhabitable, but the party will be able to go out and explore and see what they might find as they depart the caves and set out in Aurora Green. Now, before we jump into the game, now I did get some new audio hardware. So if the BGM is coming in a bit too loud, or if there are some differences with the voice volumes of either the party members or myself, do let us know in the chat. We'll be keeping an eye on it. But with that, party, you set out into... I am getting a bit too much audio. This is where it's coming from. I'm going to drop the BGM down a little bit here. All right, so yes, party members. After departing the caves and seeing the skies of Aurora Green, you are welcomed by the beautiful sight of the green Aurora Borealis that spans much of the evening skies of Aurora Green, spanning almost from the poles to the equator. Now, looking up into the sky, it does appear that, and for simplicity, we're just going to use simple cardinal directions, but it seems the Aurora Borealis here is cresting from the South Pole. And you can see, looking northward, a bit of the dark skies. And further north, you see the crackling skies as energy arcs through the air, twisting the air around it, causing the sky to almost twist and turn and create a bit of an illusion of what seems to be a storm in the distance, but this is quite far away. Entering into the open, you're all going to find yourselves in a bit of a, I don't know if valley is necessarily the right word, but you're surrounded by kind of mountainous walls that surround you. And I'm going to go ahead and swap you over to a different screen here, as this will act as a bit of a overview of the immediate area that you are all within. Now, if you first, you should all have visibility of a single token. Do you guys see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. And just for testing's sake, this is our first time doing Foundry here. So just to test it out real quick with the players, can one of you see if you can move the token? All right. Looks like it should be working. So this is going to be, at least for now, until I get a better piece of artwork to replace it, it's going to be a bit of a party token. We'll call it that. And you can all decide who will be controlling the token amongst yourselves. Whoever is generally going to be leading the party is the one that I would like to have control of the token, but you all have visibility of it, and you are all able to interact with it if you decide to move about a bit more separately. Now, the area around you, each tile is going to be much larger than your typical 5 feet. Now, we're not going to be going through some major microing of movement here as you explore the exteriors of this cave, but if needed, we will be returning to this map. Any questions with that?
Good for me.
All right. So again, exiting the cave, surrounding you are various hills, some of them stretching in almost mountainous-like ranges. And ahead of you, there seems to be a pathway around the southwest of where you are all able to immediately see in the distance. However, this cave network seems to have been almost like a tunnel it's unsure, looking at the surrounding kind of cave exit, if it was man-made or created, possibly by the creatures that you had encountered. But for now, you're all free to move about, as for the first time, you all again exit out and see the skies for the first time.
So where to now, Sam? You said just follow the cave. We'll get there.
I don't know, but I'll say it's very beautiful out here. If you get a chance to look up just for a moment.
Wait till it tries to eat you.
I guess. Enjoy the beauty while we still have a chance to enjoy it, I guess. I guess that's a good point, Caden.
Yeah, Caden, you said you're from here.
Not this specific area, but this planet, yes.
It's a, I sympathize. It's a beautiful planet. Why'd you leave?
Again, the part about it trying to eat you. It's quite beautiful to look at. It's very inhospitable.
Well, I mean, a welcoming party. Well, they weren't the most welcoming folks, were they?
To be fair, those things were quite friendly compared to what you could find around here.
So
Do we pick a direction, guys? What do you think? Does anyone remember anything from our? Did we get a briefing? I was locked in a box. Does anyone know what we're looking for? A core, which I would assume would be in like a building or something, not in the middle of wilderness.
Well, I mean, aside from that, one of the things is we can find creatures. I'm assuming that we can find wildlife, anything that we can bring back for some extra money. I guess that would be a reward.
Yeah, that was a side thing. I forgot about that. Yeah, there is that.
Yeah, it's a side quest. Yeah, they write it on the side as the side quest.
We should also try to figure out how we're gonna get back. I mean, I don't think we can get our ship going again.
Probably not. Depending on where can I tell from the environment if I know roughly where we are on the planet, Dragon?
Give me a history roll.
Could I help out with that?
You could roll your own history roll as well.
Sounds good.
Not my best stat, but we'll give it a go.
Oh, look at you guys go.
Yeah, he's got a +1 though. So he rolled the same as me. He's still better than me though.
Caden, you, aside from the obvious looking up in the sky and recognizing your homeworld, you know that this is Aurora Green. However, though your surroundings somewhat resemble your last place of residence, if we can call it that, with the surrounding kind of cave networks and kind of the valleys that worked very well to keep something hidden away. The only difference that you are seeing with this immediate area is that there doesn't appear to be, at least not in the immediate distance that you can see, any hostile creatures, which is quite different from what you are more familiar with. Whether those creatures
Apart
are
from the cave that tried to eat us.
fair, yeah. Maxine,
okay, and we can't see. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Maxine, on the other hand, you've traveled a bit more due to some benefits through Dynasty, and you've been to a few parts of Aurora Green. And though this terrain isn't ideal, there's quite a few blockages of your line of sight, which goes kind of against maybe your specialty a little bit. But based on the position of the aurora up above and based on the position of the aurora, you at least recognize that you're in the southern hemisphere. As far as the immediate location, you've experienced vast different terrain formations, and the terrain also, you would know in particular, tends to shift as these storms, high energy storms, pass through various locations. The locals tend to call these catastrophes or just storms. But at the moment, this seems to be kind of a tucked away area. Now, once you get to a position where you guys can see a bit more, perhaps your opinion will change. But at the moment, neither of you quite pinpoint what part of Aurora Green you guys have been dropped to.
Can we see any sign of, like, I know there's a space station in orbit. Can we see any ships shuttling upwards? Or are we, like, dead ass middle of nowhere? I can't see any sign of civilization, nothing.
Sure. Give me a perception roll. And for anyone else who would like to look around in the meantime, also give me a perception roll.
Can I look around to see if there's any other, like, drop pods or anything?
Sure.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Oh. All right. Oh, another request. Once all the rolls have completed, at some point, go ahead and call out your results as well. But I'll go ahead and take this one. So, starting with Caden, who rolled a 17, or a result of 17. Dario, you got a 14. Maxine, you got a nat 20, so we'll save you for last. And Koji, specifically looking for signs of other drop pods, got a 16. So Caden, with your 17, as you look around, the aurora does obscure a bit of vision out into the stars. However, Bora Station is quite large. And from where you, Dario, actually all of you that rolled, as you kind of look around in your surroundings and up, will see up in the sky Bora Station. Now, it is maybe no larger than the tip of your thumbnail or so, or not the tip, but your thumbnail or so. But considering the distance, that's quite impressive. But you do spot up in the sky that Bora Station is in fact there, and it's reasonably recognizable as Bora Station. Caden and Koji, or actually, Koji's searching for a little different, but yeah, Koji, as you look around for signs of drop pods, and Caden, you'll catch a glimpse of this as well. Dario, you're a bit more focused on just the sheer sight of Bora Station up in the sky, coming from a smaller planet that didn't really have the luxury of having a large space station that you can look up into the sky and see. There's something impressive about it. But Caden and Koji, the two of you will also spot not any signs of drop pods per se in your immediate surroundings, but Caden, you're going to pick up one shooting star up in the sky. And Koji, you're actually going to spot 3 of them as you specifically look kind of up in the surrounding areas and see that there are multiple signs of something falling planet side. One far to the north, one to the southeast, and one that seems to be still up in high atmosphere and you're not really sure where it's going. Maxine, with your nat 20, you are going to be spotting everything that was just mentioned. And in addition, you also spot up in the sky 2 more signs of something falling. There seems to be another one that is falling to the northeast, and one that is almost missable, as the signs of it are quite faint as you look up in the sky, but there's one that seems to be cresting the horizon far to the west as well.
Okay, so that doesn't give us any information. Does anyone have any information on where we should go from here? We're looking for a core, something. I forget what it's called exactly. But my understanding is it's very it's advanced, and I don't think we'd find it in a cave. I might be mistaken. Anyone got any ideas?
I mean, you're supposed to be the expert of this place, aren't you? Are there any, like, cities or anything?
We're not near any of them. There's Edgerson, but that's not in this area, wherever the hell we are.
We're in the southern hemisphere, at least. We can determine that. Once we're out of this local area, navigation through the traditional methods could be more difficult, as navigating by terrain isn't ideal in this place.
Well, that's fine, but do we even have like a direction? Like, we were told to look for a thing and then just dropped.
They're throwing everything at the board and seeing what sticks. So of course they're going to just throw us somewhere. Maybe they have some more information as to where they're dropping each group individually, but I mean, if they knew where it was, we would all be getting sent to the same place. Our best bet is probably going to be finding some form of civilization for the time being, get our bearings, and go from there.
So northeast, south, or west? Who wants to flip a coin?
Coin doesn't have that many sides.
You can do it twice.
Why only twice?
North and east, then south and west, or something. Whatever. Just pick a direction. No one? Okay, we're going north. I just start walking north.
We found our party leader then.
All right.
Isn't North back in the cave? Did he just go back in?
I think it is, actually. You're right. Because we came out of the cave looking south.
Caden, taking the initiative to kind of begin leading the party away, feel free to start moving the token about. And if you come across something, I will pause the game.
I meant south. I said south, guys.
Now, keep in mind again that as you all begin traversing the lands, at the moment, it seems to be quite silent. The surface doesn't appear to have very many signs of life at the moment.
I'm going to be keeping an eye out for hostile creatures, because my experience has been hostile creatures.
Sure. So, Caden, as you're kind of leading the party about, and anyone else who is keeping a lookout, for those that are just kind of keeping a lookout, give me your passive perception, which is just your perception modifier.
11.
Okay.
Dario has a +3.
+2.
15.
That'll be 15 for me.
Okay.
This is how Caden gets eaten in the first episode. Well, third, I guess, now, but...
And leading the party, Caden, give me a perception roll.
Well, it can't be worse than my passive. Well, maybe it can.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice. All right. As you all begin traversing the cave network, you spot, or not the cave network, sorry, the exteriors. Around the point where you reach your current location, it's taken you a good couple of hours to reach here. And off to your left, around here, you're going to spot... Oop, I shouldn't be using the one that says core.
I found the core!
Yeah, you found it.
Completely, we're done.
But looking off to your left, there seems to be another cave entrance. Up ahead seems to be more... It seems to open up, and the wall faces begin to allow you to see a bit further out. And up ahead to the north and to the southeast, there does seem to be a bit of a steep rise in the terrain, but otherwise, you might be able to pass it with a bit of time. However, if you proceed down the available path up ahead to your right, it does seem to be relatively easy to traverse.
So this cave to our left, it was just like a small, like just a hole kind of thing?
Well, I don't know. You guys seem to have just kind of moved ahead. So, is anybody? Yeah.
I could. Did we want to look in the hole that probably has some sort of critter in it?
No, I don't think so. I think you were
Okay.
saying earlier that we're not gonna find the core in the cave, and I agree.
I swear to God, if it ends up being a later, I'm gonna be pissed. Okay, let's go.
Well, I think what's important to consider is that we don't know where we're going to find this place. Cave could very well be the entrance to some old underground facility, or these things could just show up in caves. We don't know.
Okay, so you're saying we should look in the hole?
I'm not personally a fan of going into caves, but we have a wide range of capabilities here.
Okay, sure. Let's go look in the hole. Who wants to go?
Well, I think as long as we want to go together, I'd say we still have a good chance. We seem to have prevailed against other creatures.
Yeah, worst case scenario, we'll fight whatever's in there.
Yeah. Big man get big angry. We should be okay.
Okay. Let's go have a look at the cave, I guess. Who's sticking their head in first?
You all approach this, what appears to be some form of an entrance that leads into this mountainside. And the surrounding wall is somewhat resembles the previous tunnel that you had all passed through prior to make your way out of the prior cave. Now, I didn't load it. In a very much similar fashion, you don't really see much light from the immediate distance, but as you poke your head within, you do spot that it does appear to stretch into the what's the word I'm looking for? The crevice? The cavity appears to go a good 60 or more feet in, and shining a little bit of light inside. As Sam, I believe your light is still active, as we're still within the first day. You will see some of the kind of reflections of that, what you found to be some kind of a organic material that resembles almost like a mineral-like flora. But at the moment, and who's actually poking their head in? Is it just Caden, or is it...
I was kind of hoping it wasn't me, but if no one else will, I guess I will.
Yeah, I'll poke my head in there too.
Okay. For those of you that are poking their head in, give me a perception roll. All right.
7.
5.
Get a pie to the face.
Yeah, you both kind of poke your head in, and all you really make of it is that this seems to be much like the previous location, however, much less active, as you don't really hear the sounds of the chitter, clicky clack of the insectoids from the previous cavern.
Yeah, it's definitely a cave.
So there's like do we? I guess we don't see anything core-like. Do we want to go inside? I don't think we really should have to.
Going inside is usually, in my experience, the best way to explore a cave.
Hey, lead the way, Sam.
All right, I can lead. I'll step inside.
All right. Sam, as you step inside and look about, once your vision kind of adjusts to the more bioluminescence of the flora and the ambient light from the aurora outside kind of dims away, you find again that the walls seem to have this almost mineral-like splattering that creates a reflection against your light that almost creates a wave of sorts of reflecting back at you. In a few spots, you again find that same flora substance, which somebody had grabbed in the party and it ended up crushing it, if I recall. But at the moment, again, once you step in, still, you also are not going to hear much of anything. However, what would you say? About 10 feet in, 15 feet in, you would have gone?
If not more. I mean, I think our whole party is just going in now. So 15, 20, we keep walking until we find something.
All right. Continuing within, the cave seems to begin curving to the right. And once you turn away from the entrance, you find what almost appears to be, not really fine, but you begin to smell something, and it's not very pleasant. It actually reeks like a old sanitation pod that had gone bad, and the smell was kind of seeping out.
As I look at the ground, is it just like dust? Is it just dirt on the ground? Is it what kind of like pavement are we walking on top of?
It
Is
does
there anything squishy?
It does appear to be mostly natural, much like the previous cavern. The ground is covered in kind of a fine grayish purple powder that seems to be from very similar material that the terrain itself is made out of. As far as whether anything is squishy, the flora, if you happen to step on it, does provide some resistance that will squish, but the ground itself does not appear to be what is causing the smell, if that is your intention.
As we're heading in, can I just get some more snapshots of the cave as we're going in?
You sure can.
Going full photographer mode.
As Maxine kind of pulls up her Omni device and begins snapping some photos. Let me actually go ahead and try getting you another image here.
And if possible, I want to see if I can look ahead to see if I see any types of either footprints of maybe possibly anybody else that have been here before.
Sure.
Or even on the sides of the walls to see if there's any type of tracking to show if other humanoids have been here before.
Okay. Yeah, if you're specifically looking for tracks, you can give me like a survival, or if you're really just kind of looking around in a larger radius for signs of possible tracks, you can give me a perception.
I rolled a 9 plus, I guess plus 2, which would be 11. Or 6 plus 3.
Okay. Looking for tracks, you don't spot anything in the immediate vicinity. However, your survival roll will tell you that This area does not appear to be undisturbed, but you have not spotted any sort of tracks.
Yeah, it seems a little hard to tell if anybody's been here, but Sam, I don't know if you can smell that, but it doesn't smell very, very good.
Yeah, I smell it, but I mean, smell like that only comes from a few kind of sources.
I mean, you are walking a little ahead of us. Do you feel like you're a little bit gassy from coming off the plane?
You know, they didn't give me any in-flight meals.
Yeah, I suppose if, I guess we'll kind of proceed then.
Continuing around the corner, it bends and creates almost like a almost a partial spiral, as you do feel the ground descend slightly. And the further you go, the stronger the smell becomes. And Koji, where others begin to feel the smell worsen, you, on the other hand, begin to feel that it's a bit nicer than, well, nicer is not really the word, but pleasant. There's a pleasant aroma that seems to be hidden within the stench that the group is primarily catching a whiff of. And as you continue, the walls begin to narrow from a good 20 feet down to 15, down to 10. And as you begin to reach towards the end, and for a few of you, the smell begins to almost become a bit unbearable. But Sam, as you continue to shine your lamp forward, you all see towards the end of this cave cavity, an unusual sight. Much like the flora from the previous cavern, you find up ahead there seems to be a very similar species of flora, but this one contains these bulbous, not sure if they're buds, but occasionally they tend to enlarge in almost as if something is moving from within. And in a couple cases, you see that the shape begins to shrink as spores are released from little holes that are within or around these little buds.
I'm gonna go up to one, and I'm gonna try to, I think, keep the bulbous part intact while trying to pull it out, and trying to keep it as intact as possible. I want to try to take a sample.
Okay. Give me I'm going to have you make 2 rolls. One is going to be survival, to try to salvage this part. And the second roll, to do it delicately, I'm going to have you give me a sleight of hand.
I did a 16 for my survival, and a 13 for sleight of hand.
Okay. Doing your best to be careful. The first one that you go after, you overestimate how delicate this little bud is, as it immediately pops, almost as if you ever seen a like dry ice bubbles where it just kind of poofs. Very similar thing happens here, where as you make contact with the bulb almost deteriorates when you go to pull on it. But the spores that are released don't seem to what's the word? it doesn't fly out with any sense of force. It really just kind of poofs and begins to settle. So you try it a second time. This time, trying to grab it more from the base, where there seems to be a bit of what resembles like a stem that you break. And this leaves the bulb intact, as you have one of these bulbs in your hand.
Too
Anything I
light.
recognize by chance, or?
Well, I'd like to take this back, but I think it's a little too light for me just to toss in my pack. And you guys know how to contain or transfer flora like this?
I didn't bring anything like that. I would just shove it in a bag, but you're right. It's probably going to get
What?
crushed.
Yeah, just the first one I pulled, it just popped.
Hey, wait. If we are we discovering? Do we get to name these things? Do we have to come up with names for all this stuff? A lot of it's going to be new, right? That's why they sent us here.
Is Aurora Green a new planet?
No, but it's an odd planet that's not very well documented, I guess is how'd you say it?
Well then, I guess you're right. Maxine, you want to take one of these pictures and then we'll name it something.
I'm not good at naming stuff. I was just someone else should name it.
Well, I think we've got time before we have to worry about names. Plenty of time to think. I'll just move closer and see if I can get some pictures of the one that's separated as well as just the bunch.
Sure. As you go to approach and take some pictures, you've all been here for a few minutes, traversing within this cave and reaching what appears to be the end, where this unusual flora seems to be sprouting within this cavity. I need everyone except for Dario and Koji to give me a Constitution saving throw. And I need Dario to make that roll with advantage.
Oh, not good.
Yeah, it's a tasty 6 right there.
Wow.
Me.
All right.
Dario rolled a 9.
14.
So Caden with an 8, Maxine with a 6, Dario with a 9. The three of you find nothing to be amiss. But Sam and Koji, you notice that the others begin to act a bit almost drunk is not the right word, but almost as if they're having a bit of a trip.
Is
Maxine,
this,
you've taken the picture of this flower like 15 times now. I think you got enough.
Maxine,
You feeling okay?
I
Appears a lot.
was just thinking about all of this. That's all.
you want to share your thoughts?
the three of you that rolled poorly,
Yo.
don't have any don't have really any desire to leave. And Koji, your thoughts are coming back to you as a few hours have passed since you had departed the previous cave. And with the exception of Sam and, to a lesser degree, Maxine, Caden and Dario appear to be showing some symptoms that you're a bit familiar with, or at least that you recognize from back in Akiyama.
Is my vision? How's my vision? Am I able to? Am I seeming dilated? A little off my edge.
Yeah, Dario, why don't you give me a wisdom saving throw?
Dario, a 6 total.
Dario, you, when Koji kind of speaks, you look at him, and to you, he appears as Gael.
And I feel at a bit of loss for words. As I look at him like with a familiarity, but a bit of surprise.
You good there, big guy?
I mean, what are you here?
What do you mean? Why am I here? I was in the drop pods with you.
No, I've been looking for you. I've been looking for you for days, weeks. Where have you been?
Do I know you? Do we know each other?
Of course. I mean, I would assume my sibling, my brother, would have no issues recognizing me. But why do you seem as surprised as me? I've been looking for you forever, and now you're here.
Oh, these guys are fucked up.
Yeah, Dario, that's Koji.
Yeah, let's get them out of here. Can I like try and corral these guys? At least try to grab like Dario. Get him out of the cave.
Here's the thing. Since we got here, you've seen what this place is like. This here is as good as it's going to get. It's war and terrible storms out there. Not to mention the war.
You talking about this cave? I'm sure we could do better.
But then we'd have to go out there.
Yeah, that's kind of how going somewhere works. Remember, we're still here trying to find the core, and it's not in here. It was a good exploration, but
you
really
don't know that. This could be the place. And
no,
if
I'm
we
fairly
just
certain
stay
it's not.
here and look for it here, we don't have to go where all of the madness of all the chaos that they bring, it's out there. So if we stay here, everything will be better.
Maxine,
Yeah, well,
we can't just stay here.
Kind of don't want to live in a cave for the rest of my life. So, you don't want to come with me, I guess I'll just get out of here on my own.
No, everyone's traveling together. We all came in the same pod. We stand a much better chance that we all go together. Come on, guys. Let's head out.
No. This this place was just so much. It's so much better here.
What are you talking about?
Sam,
It
as Maxine and Dario seem to protest, you get kind of a tingling feeling, almost like you just had an okay beer. Yeah, nothing special, but you're feeling a light little buzz, but really it's not affecting you. Maybe it's your hardy constitution. And quick question, what is Caden up to?
I think I'm just in the corner with these things, just kind of looking at them right now. I'm not doing much else than just kind of looking at
I'm
them.
gonna take out my tricoder and I'm gonna scan Maxine
Looking for?
just to see if there's any health differences in her that she's acting a little weird.
Sure. Give me a medicine roll with advantage. Nice.
I rolled 20.
Yeah, very nice. Your tricoder takes a moment, and after kind of giving Maxine a quick scan over, it provides the feedback that the heart rate is elevated, the temperature is elevated, the pupils are dilated, and there seems to be some kind of a, what is it? Not bacteria is airborne, right? Can be. Yeah.
It can be.
Yeah.
Can be.
You thinking like a
Yeah.
fungi, like a
But-
spore?
But there seems to be some sort of a foreign substance that is your tricoder is saying is not natural to the typical body. And as Maxine is also having this conversation, Caden, I don't see your friend's name on your character page anywhere, but what was their name again?
Riel?
Real? Yeah, Maxine's voice sounds awfully a lot like her voice.
Oh, okay.
Real
Koji.
quick.
There's something going on with these guys. They're not healthy. We gotta get them out of here.
Yeah. Real quick. Would Koji's not very wise to begin with, but I imagine with his sort of experience with Psycho G, would he know if the health injectors functioned anywhere near like Narcan? Like, do they have any kind of properties like that in them?
It can, depending on the severity of it, but if it's something processed, likely you'll need something special. If it's something unknown or something that's less powerful, then there's a good chance that it can. However, Koji probably has no understanding at the moment if it will have the same effect on what's happening with these guys right now.
Gotcha. All right. Well, he's gonna kind of look at Sam. You want to try picking one of these guys up? Get him out of here.
Here's what I'll do. I go and I take Maxine's camera. And then I said, Maxine, if you want this back, follow me.
Now, Maxine, remind me, was it a separate device?
I don't think we talked about it, but I wanted to ask you after this session if it could be the visor that I have.
Sure. So, Sam,
Got it.
unfortunately,
So it's attached.
yeah, unfortunately, yeah, attached to her gear. But what you can do, or at least what you could attempt to do, is maybe just grab her hand.
I will not grab her hand. I'm gonna get kind of in front of her and kind of push on her waist, push her towards the entrance of the cave, kind of push her out of here.
I would definitely like to just hold my ground. Just try to stay rooted.
Contestant check.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get a athletics, and we're gonna treat it like a shove. So Maxine, you can try to, if you're gonna stand your ground, also give me an athletics.
Wow.
So Maxine's 12 up against Sam's hearty 15. Maxine, as far as you're aware, you're holding your ground, but Sam, you're giving her a bit of a gentle push, and her body is actually just going along with your direction. But Maxine, your vision of your surroundings begin to kind of dim, and you feel like your whole world and the flora that was at the end of the cave begins to kind of get smaller, almost like you're zooming out. It's quite bizarre.
Just gonna start taking pictures, like rapid fire. I want to hold on to that.
Well, I'm not gonna stop her. I'm gonna keep pushing her as she takes pictures.
Yep. And her body almost not like a limp ragdoll, but kind of just it's in like autopilot, and you're just pushing it along.
While they're doing that, you said, or Caden, you said that you were sitting over just looking at some of the spores?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna walk over to you and just kind of lean over. Hey, scruffy guy. You gonna fight me if I try to pick you up?
Why? I'm just looking at these plants. What's wrong?
Oh, cool. You're still here. You wanna come with me? I can show you something really cool.
I want to see what these things are. They look interesting, don't they? Like, have you ever seen anything like this before?
Caden.
Yeah, a couple of times.
Caden.
Yes.
As you're investigating, kind of looking at these plants, you're almost just popping them like a child pops bubbles that are floating by. Yep. Yep. Pop.
Oh, fuck. All right. I'm gonna try and pick Caden up. Just fireman carry him out.
I will try and resist, although you're probably gonna pick me up.
Caden, I'm gonna have you roll just a straight D20.
Just a D20? Okay.
Yep.
Can Koji rage and take
I
two
rolled
people?
two by accident.
Now I'm just gonna take your first result, which is a 9. Okay, good. So
Those are D12s.
those are D12s. What the hell are you doing, bud? Man, you're really role playing well. Yeah.
Is this it? There we go.
Okay. That actually.
And you're also rolling as the party token?
Right corner.
Oh, it's fine. It's a straight D20, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, there's no bonus
I
to
don't
it.
have any strength. I think I have a negative modifier, to be honest.
Caden, when you go to try to resist, you reach out and go and try to grab a handful, trying to hold on to something, anything. And your hand, when it goes to grab at some of these buds, they just pop, almost like rapid fire bubble wrap, which oddly satisfying and mildly disturbing at the same time. But Koji, you pick Caden up actually without any problem at all. He's a bit of a lightweight, as one of our good friends here says, and you feel a tug of resistance just momentarily as you kind of pull Caden over your shoulder with a bit of a, what's the word? Yeah, you get him over your shoulder, right? You kind of adjust him into position with a bit of a upwards motion, and there's a brief resistance that then immediately gives away. And Caden, you also find kind of your vision almost zooming out as you see what you were just investigating almost go out of reach. but yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Once I've got him up, I'm gonna kind of look over at Dario and, hey, fancy guy, brother, let's go talk outside.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, let's go do that. Yes, Dario follows fo- follows him with not much protest, but more just as confusion.
Sure. Dario, your will towards Gael seems to be a stronger bond than what has transpired here. But Koji, Dario, just very simply and without making much noise, follows behind you as you lead the two out. And when you finally make your way out, it takes about maybe 15, 20 minutes or so before each of you kind of come around. But it starts with... Where was it? It starts with Dario, then Caden, then Maxine. And there's something that you all begin to realize as soon as you get outside, which is Caden, you all went in just with your gear. Caden came out with something more. As Koji and Sam, while the other three are still in their initial haze as you exit, you find that Caden is holding what appears to be almost like a stiff branch that is covered in the stems of the flora that you had found. But it seems to be a bit misshapen and covered up, and Caden is still kind of holding it tightly as they sober up, so to speak.
What happened?
Don't know. You guys were tripping balls though, so figured I'd get you out of there. Get some fresh air.
So the ones I have in my hand are intact then?
The buds are not, but Caden, as you come around, and no one really seems to be interested in what you're holding, as you're most likely maybe on the ground still, as I don't think Koji would have been carrying you the entire time. But you do notice, Caden, and everyone is coming around by now, that in your hand is this, it's kind of a thick stick. And what's your investigation modifier?
1.
And what's your medicine
Unless I have
modifier?
proficiency. Let me double check I have proficiency or not. I don't. Oh, it's 0, sorry.
And medicine.
Medicine is +1.
Okay. I'm gonna have you roll both.
Both? Okay.
Okay. It almost looks unrecognizable, Caden, as you take a look at whatever it is that this is. That honestly, your memory is a bit fuzzy of the last half an hour or so, but what you hold in your hand seems to be some kind of a bit of a... No, it is branch shaped of sorts, and the stems of the flora that you found within are kind of covering it up. And now that it is exposed to the exterior air, it begins to kind of wither, and maybe because the buds are not there anymore to help sustain them, they become a bit brittle. And though you don't recognize it at first, you've had to fix yourself up enough to be able to recognize that as you brush some of those stems off and it kind of just snaps off, this looks like the bone of a human forearm.
Oh.
kind of that curved two bone shape of your forearm, right?
Yeah. Guys, where did I get this?
I don't know.
No one?
I don't know what. You just collecting random bones now.
I don't remember picking this up.
Maybe you put it down now then.
Koji's gonna quickly check his forearms.
Make sure you still have your arms.
Koji, your
I'm gonna
arms,
steal your arms, man.
your arms are intact, and they've never looked better.
Hell yeah.
But you have all made it out of this cave, and what do you all do? As the skies above still glisten with the aurora borealis, the green hue, there still is what appears to be that arcing energy far to the north. And somewhere to the southwest, you hear a big poof echoing through the sky.
Oh, it's one of those drop pods hitting, probably.
Well, I would suppose if it's another one, maybe there'd be some other people who can help us.
We're in a competition. Like, we could maybe convince them to help us, but generally they're set against us.
It's a
You think-
potential resource.
You guys think if somebody actually finds the core, they're gonna give it back to these scientists who hired us? I mean, I know the rumors and the myths about the core, but I think if I found it, I think I would keep it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot you could do with one of those things, and giving it away is really the best idea.
What are you alone going to do with something like that?
No idea.
Best bet is to find a buyer, maybe, and at that point, you might as well just send it off to Dynasty.
Would sell it. I'd find somebody who can try to explain what they are.
I'm not too in favor of Dynasty right now. I got drugged, kidnapped, and thrown out of a space station.
I mean, two of the three of those things just happened in that cave right now. So I think that's kind of normal for you.
What exactly happened in that cave again? I
You
don't
almost
really
got
remember.
kidnapped. You were drugged.
I've just got this arm bone now.
No, he was definitely kidnapped.
Yeah. Last thing you needed to be done is thrown out. Wait,
What's
Coach, you did
important
kind
to
of throw you out
remember?
there. So 3 of 3 are the same as the scientists.
Caden, you were not kidnapped. Nothing happened against your will. You signed the forms.
And proceeded to get locked in a box, drugged, maybe even shocked. I can't quite remember. And then blacked out, and then woke up on a planet. Not exactly the experience I was looking for.
Here's the thing about 3,000 pages of forms. They've covered their bases. You
Doesn't
agreed.
mean I have to like them.
You don't have to like them, but you agreed to this, and you can't deny that.
To be exact, it was 3,652 pages. Thank you very much.
Again, doesn't mean I have to like them.
But they're just as good an option as anyone else. And they might be able to determine what can be done with these things. Better than any of us could alone.
Let's walk and talk. As we go. Let's keep going down this other path that was here.
All right. Who's leading the group right now? Caden still leading the way?
I feel like I shouldn't at this point.
I'll step up and start moving ahead.
Okay. You are all welcome to proceed. As you continue forward, you're actually going to spot another crevasse that seems to be up ahead. And to the right of it, a pathway that seems to extend further in much like a valley. And again, each of these squares takes you a hefty amount of time to traverse. This is a very zoomed out map. But yes, up ahead to the left seems to be another opening on the surface side of the range that you're within.
Caden, do you want to complete your collection? Maybe get a full-size person?
A carcass?
Nah, I'm good. I don't even want this. I just tossed it over my shoulder.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Let's-
Oh yeah, I forgot. There's probably someone behind me. I just chucked that at.
Dario goes and picks up the the bone and tries to put it in his backpack.
What do you want it for?
Well, I mean, somebody could have lost it, and there might be a reward for someone that's lost their forearm.
If they don't have their forearm anymore, they don't have much need for it at this point. You can't really, when they're that bony, they don't really go back on afterwards.
If nothing else, the corp might want it.
I'll go ahead and put it in my backpack. I'll keep it for safekeeping.
Go ahead and add a petrified forearm. And there's probably going to be a weight to it, but make it weigh about 3 pounds for now.
All right.
Are we risking the chance at another Cave of Wonders?
Question: how long has it been since we've landed till now?
Your clock says that between the exploration of the caves and traversing this exterior range, maybe a third of the day has gone by. And honestly, you guys, yeah, what did I say when you, did I actually give a time when you landed? Because you were inside, I don't think I did. But when you, when you left the caves, it seems to be kind of approaching dusk of sorts, or at least Caden and Maxine, the two of you would have recognized that. Time-wise, your Omni devices will give you kind of a rough evening time that to whatever time zone that you would sync it to, and it's been about a third of a day has gone by. So, at the moment, you are all feeling a little bit tired.
One thing we have to keep in mind is definitely shelter. I definitely don't want to be outside without at least something to protect us, or at least out in the open without something to protect us. So there's maybe a body of water to one side, or even like a nice cave, one that won't be of any danger, I think would behoove us.
This pass seems like it's relatively out of the way of the weather, more or less. But we have two paths ahead of us. Cave or no?
I think we've got
another cave.
No, this other cave on our left. On the left, we have a cave, and on the right, the path keeps going.
Mm-hmm.
That's up to you guys. Caves have not gone very well for me, though.
I agree. I think we got another 3 hours. We could probably push on.
Onward then.
All right, as you all continue.
And we missed the core.
We missed that deck of many things.
Man, at this rate, I'm going to have to roll some dice after the game, be like, okay, thanks to these guys, is the core going to spawn where they started? But go ahead.
Someone's getting stabbed if that's the case. When we're pissed. No, I'm just kidding.
As you continue, the pathway...
So, that's why we dropped you there.
You had one job.
Yeah. Well, they had one job. Give us goddamn instructions, okay? This is their fault.
But you continue, and the pathway opens up before closing again. And the area that you just passed did have noticeable signs of prints that Maxine, you would have easily have spotted. Dario, you also would have easily spotted. And Caden, what was your perception mod?
I believe
+1 you said, right?
Yeah, it's like 1 or it's 1 or 10.
Yeah,
it's
I don't think.
low.
Yeah, Caden, you've had a rough day.
It is 11 is my passive.
Yeah. But it does appear that there are steps that seem to kind of head in the direction that you're traveling in pairs and slightly offset. And the intervals seem to occasionally swap, where of the two prints, some have the left side more forward, some have the right side more forward, but it's highly irregular. And it doesn't even appear to be in a straight line. It almost looks like there might have been many of them. Or perhaps not, as the prints all seem to appear relatively similar to each other. And they also appear to be about the size of an average fist. So what is that? Like a good 5-6 inches diameter?
Is above average, sir. Actually, that's about average, but
Well, you only got 3 inches?
no comment.
But yes, the Maxine and Dario, the two of you will spot that there are some prints.
Well, it looks like it's definitely been something that's been in the same direction. I'd probably assume maybe, you know, probably something that's maybe looking for some water or some type of some shelter.
If there is wildlife, it could be something to follow as an example. Probably knows the area better than we do.
Yeah,
No, not if we shoot it first.
it's true.
When you approach what seems to be a bit of an intersection, and the path seems to split left and right, to your left, can't really see too far, as it seems the path curves around. To your right, there appears to be something that it seems to open up in the distance. And once again, you hear a bit closer this time, coming from the southeast. And with that noise, you spot something darting from the south to the north as it stops just briefly mid-stride and almost kind of sniffing up in the air as if detecting something. You spot a very unusual creature that
Hey.
Oh, what the fuck?
almost resembles what some of you with some education might recognize as a rodent of sorts. However, this one appears to be a good maybe twice the size of what you might be familiar with. And it begins to scurry northward, and as your eyes trail it, as it begins to pass in front of you, to the north again, you see in the far distance a raging storm in the sky, kind of giving you that image of one path is the scary forest, and one path, though there is some unusual noise coming from that direction, appears to be less what's the word? Menacing.
Well, it appears that the wildlife are running away from the south. I don't know what
That's right.
the group feels.
Oh, I get some pictures of the rodent before it scurries off.
This one is quick, so I'm gonna have you give me. We're gonna go with a dexterity check. Well, find out here in a bit. Oh, I forgot to add them. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm rolling the wrong side. Whoopsies. Well, stream, you get to see it, but you're actually you're successful, and you do manage to capture not the best high quality image, but you do capture an image. And upon taking said image, you get a notification on your visor that says local memory low.
Keep that in mind.
And keeping it in mind, you realize that you seem to have taken numbers are hard, but it seems that your memory for your device storage appears to be at about 77% capacity.
All right.
Which is unusual because you could have sworn when you landed, you checked it and it was at like 40 some percent.
I think that is a situation to deal with later.
Yes.
So what I can tell you is that we don't want to go into a storm. That's
Yes.
Might as well be at that
really
sense.
don't want to go into storms. I agree with that.
it's clear enough that there's something that the wildlife doesn't like to the south. But whatever it is, we've probably got a better chance with it than with the storm.
Yeah, possibly at least
We
let the storm
could-
pass.
I'm
pass
the
to the
last to
north.
suggest this, but we could hunker down in a cave.
Looking ahead to the north, can I tell if the storm is passing from one direction to the next? Or is it pretty stationary?
It's. You're gonna have to give me a perception with disadvantage for this one.
Dario rolls a total 5.
As far as you can tell, the storm seems to be relatively isolated in that area. However, it is unlike any form of movement that you've seen on planets that you have either visited or have come from. This storm, you only know of its existence due to the arcs of energy that seem to be bolting across the skies in that direction, and the distortion that seems to occur with it. And there doesn't appear to be, like on Sakara, where there's very, very notable kind of cloud formations that tend to accompany a storm. In this case, it almost seems as if the sky itself is erupting in energy. And you can't seem to make out if there is a direction to it.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be hard to tell how long that storm is gonna be. Yeah, if folks are up for it, maybe going down south, finding some, or at least finding some type of shelter until the storm passes, maybe our best bet.
I'm okay with going south.
Just keep an eye out.
All right.
Okay.
Then
You all
it's decided.
continue.
We go south.
You all continue, and making your way further forward. Actually, go ahead and move the camera here. So, the path forward definitely does appear to open up. You do get the sense that whatever range that you are within appears to be letting up. The general vibe of the terrain does appear to be leveling and opening up ahead. Now, as you begin to get to a bit of an open area, Maxine, you're going to get a message at this time on your visor. And it's not really a you got mail situation, but more of a warning that appears on the top, kind of out of the way of your visor. But you get a prompt that says, Dynasty node out of range, disconnected.
What's with the sigh?
I've got no connection out here. So,
So we're
I don't
on
know
our own
about
then.
all of you, but I'm in the dark.
I never really relied on these things very much to begin with, so.
The rest of you, if you were to check your Omni device, you would notice that you are still connected to the Omni network.
Oh, we've got signal.
Same here.
Do I have signal? I show it to someone else.
Yeah, you're still connected.
Huh, fine. I just shoved it back in the pocket then.
All right.
It's not a big issue. I mean, you should just always be connected. It's odd that it went off, but you should be okay.
Well, which way are we going from here? We're going out into the open.
Looking out, are we pretty level grounded, or are we able to see our declinations anywhere?
At the moment, the terrain has leveled out. It does appear to be a bit of an open area up ahead, and it's a bit difficult to see now that it is kind of approaching the darkest of the night. And the only reason why you're able to see is really because of the persistent glow of the auroras up above. Up ahead, to the far, far right, it does appear that the range darkens and begins to narrow, almost creating another one of those valleys that you've kind of walked through a few of now. And off to the left, it does appear to open up even farther. And I'm using your direction of travel as forward.
Well, at this point, I am a little nervous about being out in the open, especially at this time of night. Any thoughts on setting up somewhere, or shall we proceed and for a little bit longer?
Well, we don't got much choice, do we? I mean, we got the cave that was all the way back there. Was the last spot we were at, and now we, can go forward and it's open. But I don't see what other choice we have.
Yeah, I suppose I probably asked then that maybe we go a little bit farther and then get to a point where maybe we can find a stopping point, at least for the night.
I agree.
Hmm. I'll start. I'll go ahead and start leading the way towards this valley then, which would be this direction, if I was understanding.
Now, if I do a ruler here, give me a second here. Okay, you guys cannot see that.
No.
What if I do it with this one? Can you see that?
I'm not seeing anything.
All right.
Mm-mm.
All right. So I'll just ping. So the direction of what did I say? To the right, where the valley was, this way, and where it opens up a bit more, this way.
Okay, yeah. Start kind of leading the way.
Okay. Around this point
towards the valley
is when you all begin to notice that the sounds under your feet begin to change. And
Oh boy.
from the usual, or not usual, but from what you've experienced thus far, the ground was fairly hard, fairly rocky in comparable nature. But now you begin to feel the crunch of typical planet-side soil, as there seems to be a bit more of a mixture now of kind of rocks and maybe other materials. And for anyone who looks down, and any light that shines down will easily begin to start revealing that there's proper foliage here, and it appears to be not warped in any way. It doesn't appear to have any weird bioluminescence. It appears to be, you appear to find several patches of what appear to be greenish, grassy bushes, and there seems to be more kind of pebbles and typical Earth-like terrain that you begin to encounter. And Caden, it's been a long time since you've seen this type of terrain on Aurora Green. And Maxine, you've spotted that there are, again, the terrain seems to change, and there's been a couple of rare cases where you've been to the same location twice and they've looked different, almost modified. Not modified, but altered. But now, as you cross this threshold, you will begin to see that the path where you had come from is this kind of almost chalky but hard purple dirt-like substance, whereas the path forward is more traditional in nature. And Sam, this is probably going to be a little bit different from your homeworld experiences, but you have, in your short times traveling to different locations for trade or whatever pilgrimages, you've seen different planets. Dario, this is probably going to be the most curious to you, being from a place which is fairly traditional, where landmass exists, and Koji, same as well to you.
I'm gonna go ahead and just take like a broad picture of what greenery we can see. I'm just gonna lock that photo to where it can't be deleted.
Okay.
So
looking.
far, this planet is, I think, pretty amazing.
Yeah, very beautiful.
I think now that we've started finding some foliage, we'll keep going down this way. Maybe we found some water and somewhere to settle camp.
It's a good sign.
As you all make your way forward, there is going to be a couple of you that, well, Dario, you remember the old days on Sakara before the economy really boomed and the kind of floating cities that they have there, as well as the high rises that they have now, began to kind of mask the just sheer brilliance of the skies in Koji. There may be a few places in more less urban areas that gave you some sense of the universe, but within the heart of the districts of Akiyama, it's been a very long time since either of you were able to kind of look up and just see the sheer brilliance of the stars above you, amplified by the kind of rolling borealis that dances in the skies above. And the path forward, southward, the path does indeed begin to narrow. Around the time that you reach this little corner here, feel free to move still. In echoing from the walls far behind you, you hear again that crashing sound. Something making noise not terribly far away, but not terribly close either. None of you are likely going to be recognizing that, but Caden, you do get kind of flashbacks to your in and out as you were within the pod before.
Okay. Now not this again.
But up ahead,
Okay.
there seems to be a bit of an alcove that is partially covered, as it seems the formation of these walls are, and you've kind of noticed this walking around, but they don't seem to be what we are familiar with plates that kind of hit each other and create mountain ranges. These almost appear as if they are like large waves that just stopped in time and petrified. But the area up ahead does open up and create a bit of shelter around the outer ridge, as around the northern outer ridge, so around here, as the wall above begins to kind of curve, almost cresting like a wave would above, and creating some shelter. However, you do not see or hear any signs of water. And from your current position, you will roughly spot in the distance another dark opening in the side of these mountainous walls.
Look over there.
This might be our best bet.
Yeah, I think so, Maxine.
let's have a look inside and see if we can set up camp here.
Yeah, let's do that before it gets any too much later.
As you all approach, Maxine leading the group, you're going to hear movement inside as your voices begin to approach. There seems to be a series of kind of scratchy movement from within the cave, but you don't see anything.
Well, at least we're company.
I want to take cover up near the entrance.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay kind of in the back and let someone else deal with whatever this is.
Okay.
I want to look around, see if I can find some sticks to make a fire or something.
You will find around the exterior there are going to be some sticks. What's your survival modifier?
+5.
Yeah, you'll have no problem finding something to burn.
Tinder.
Yeah.
Yeah, tinder, anything I can use to burn. I'll start to
Did you
set up a
find
fire.
a date with your Tinder there?
What was
I'm gonna
that?
take a look inside, and I don't want to get out of range of seeing everybody, but I want to make sure that I want to make sure that we are alone.
Yeah, I'll head in with Sam just as backup.
Okay.
I'll just be kind of the midpoint there and try to provide what cover I can from the entrance.
All right. Sam and Koji, as you walk inside, this cave appears to be about 40. It appears to be about 40, 45 from, well, what is it? From the entrance, if you were to walk in about 10 feet, it spans about 20, 25 feet on each side. So it's not small, but it's not quite large
So
either.
we could see the entire cave.
You can see that's what the diameter is where you guys stand if you were to walk kind of down the middle. The cave does seem to stretch inwards a little bit of distance, and from within, Sam, you with your light still activated is going to spot 4 glowing orbs up ahead. Koji, you're not going to spot anything just yet.
Heard that.
Koji, there's 4 lights up ahead. We might not be alone.
Are they like moving, or is it just lights?
They seem to be bobbing in pairs.
Yeah, I see 4. There's 2 kind of ahead to my left there, and 2 a little to the right.
All right, well, you want to go? I don't know, beat the shit out of them.
It's probably people with torches.
Oh, when'd you get here?
I was getting bored of waiting.
Oh well, yeah. Let's go check it out.
I purposely wait for someone else to check it out.
And as I'm preparing the fire, I will go ahead and use one of my I guess one of my flints to start the fire within the cave.
So Dario, you're kind of within the cave, closer to the entrance?
Yeah, at least allow some ventilation out for any smoke.
Okay. Would you say that when you enter the cave, you're on the left side or the right side?
Right side.
Okay. You're setting up a fire there. Go ahead and, well, no, your survival roll's high enough. You're going to be able to light this fire without much issue. And Sam, Koji, and Caden, as you walk up a little bit further, Maxine, you're going to notice that there seems to be something blocking line of sight to Sam on the left and right. Almost like there's a couple of pillars or something that seems to be in the way as Sam's light kind of begins to fade in the distance. Now, are you three together or are you separating? Because Sam, you said you spotted one to the left and to the right.
I stayed back to where I let them go ahead, so I would have separated if they moved forward. I would have automatically stayed behind.
So within the room, it's a relatively simple cave. Within the center back left, there seems to be a bit of a pillar of sorts created by the terrain itself, as well as closer to the right wall after the entrance. And as Sam goes a bit further within, you hear that skittering sound, and much different from the sounds that you had heard prior in the first entrance that you had all entered. But Sam, as you get further back, there seems to be two on each side. You can't quite tell until your light shines towards them, but they appear to be very mangy looking mutts, but slightly larger, almost the size of what we would consider like a wolf, like a wild wolf. And the skin itself doesn't look very healthy. It looks almost like parts of it are burnt, parts of it are just falling out, almost like they're going through chemo. They look a bit rabid as well, but there's two of them, and they're kind of cowering separately, their eyes glued to Sam.
I hold my hand out and say, guys, there's a couple of white animals. They don't look that well, but I don't think they're aggressive. They kind of look. You know, I think if we stay by the fire, we'll probably be okay.
I'm going to reach into my bag and pull out some sort of object out of my bag. And do I have? Never mind. I don't have what I thought I did. Never mind. I'm not gonna do it.
Wish you have the bone now.
Yeah, just a bone. No, the bone wouldn't have been what I wanted. Just a hunk of metal is what I was going to use, but I don't have the thing I thought I did. So never mind. I'm not going to do anything.
As Dario lights the fire, the one that was to the right, all of you are able to better spot it as the fire kind of really starts to create some illumination within this cave, aside from Sam's mining light, which is starting to fade a little bit, kind of strumming in and out. And the creature to the right scurries along the wall and kind of joins the other one as they cower in the opposite corner as the fire on the other side.
Come on, let's leave them be.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
No, we'll make our way back to the front of the cave.
All right. At the moment, you don't hear them following. They seem to kind of stay and keep away. A bit of a curious yet frightened expression, but very, very empty expression for an animal. It's hard to tell outside of its body language what it might be thinking and feeling. But you make it back to the entrance, roughly towards the entrance, where Maxine still stands by the door. Dario has set up a small but decent fire for the five of you, and you seem to have found some shelter.
Maxine and Dario, there's a couple of canines back there. I don't think they're gonna come bother us, but someone, you know, as we rest here, maybe someone just stay up and watch for them.
Of course. Yeah, I can take first watch. Maxine, if you don't mind, or if you feel tired, I can go ahead and take the first watch, unless you want to join me as well.
We might be a bit short on manpower to double up on watches.
Okay, I can take the first watch and then get you once I'm ready.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Is everybody else getting ready for sleeps?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I'll keep an eye out for any dogs or any creatures, but go ahead and get some rest, and we'll proceed through the night.
What do you all do about food?
We had some with us, I thought, in our bag, like water skins and rashes. We had a little bit, right?
True.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I'll snack on one of my rations.
all right.
Same here.
So after
I'm going to actually give me.
yeah, so if you have a ration, each person at minimum will need to eat one ration after landing planetside.
Okay, everyone would notice. While he's eating, Cade's eyes are glowing a little bit. But other than that, nothing else.
You said Caden's eyes are glowing?
A little bit, yeah.
What color? Because his eyes are normally blue, right?
Yes.
Is there
So
a
they'd be
particular
like,
shade, or is it like rainbow, or is it RGB eyes?
a little, not quite that dramatic. They just they stay blue, but they get a little bit brighter and almost seem to glow. It's kind of give off a little bit of light.
Oh, I mean, looking around as I'm eating, I guess would I notice that?
You would.
Oh, yeah. Do you enjoy the food or taking the time to relax, Caden?
Yep, the food's good. Why?
Oh, I just looks like your eyes are giving off light like a little flashlight.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Can I take a picture of Kate?
Actually, that'd be interesting how that would work. Well, I'll see.
You don't need permission to take a picture, Caden, but you do.
No, I just mean, yeah. I mean on your end, but and nothing's gonna happen yet. But
You know what? No. No, Caden.
I haven't done too much yet.
No, you haven't. You're fine. Yeah, you get a picture of Caden, and Maxine. You're just gonna take the picture, or when you take pictures, do you kind of look at the picture like an Asian dad would, or do you just kind of take the picture and leave it alone?
Speaking from experience,
I feel like I probably make a habit. Like if I'm not in a firefight, probably make a habit of double checking to make sure I got what I'm looking for.
Okay. What you perceive with your eyes is not captured in the photo.
All right.
All right.
And Sam is sets up for sleep here. He snores so loud.
Oh God, I want you to roll something for this. Just because I don't know what snoring would be associated with, give me just a straight Constitution check.
Medicine, maybe?
No, I'm gonna make him give me a Constitution check.
Deviated septum?
Constitution check.
It's the old trick of his balls hung over his butthole and cause an airlock.
Okay. For you, for the rest of you, to get a proper long rest, you're gonna have to beat that 11.
On like a con save or
Con save, yeah.
what kind of save are we making?
Yeah, con. It's he's snoring so badly that it is difficult to sleep. And within the cave, it echoes like a motherfucker.
Oh, I'm walking around kicking his ass because I can't sleep.
Oh, Koji's out like a light.
Yeah, Koji is familiar with the background noise.
I'm just posting my bedroll like half up. like half my bedroll is up against a wall, and I'm just kind of leaning against it, fully sitting up, rifle in my lap, trying to sleep that way. So it's probably going to be problematic either way.
Oh, all right. Man, Caden, you're just back on home.
Yeah, I walk over and I kick him.
Oh, all right. Give me a D4 roll. And Sam.
D4?
Yeah, I mean, how are you kicking him?
With my foot, preferably.
Yeah, I think your foot and your fist aren't going to be that different.
That's D4, right? Not good.
He kicks me, I think, almost instinctively. I'm gonna punch and maybe try to Charlie horse him.
Oh no, this is gonna hurt.
Okay. So for your punch, I'm gonna have you make an attack roll with disadvantage. And if you're not sure,
just strength, right?
yeah, you can do a strength check.
Oh, with disadvantage.
Oh no.
Yeah, disadvantage.
Oh,
I was like, hold on.
Oh god.
That's still gonna be enough, man.
Okay, Sam, you take a point of damage from Caden, who kind of frustratingly kicks you as you snore. And instinctively, you go to swing in the direction of the blow. And Caden, actually, Sam, you said you were trying to do what if you hit?
A Charlie horse. It's where you hit like the upper thigh part. And
Yeah, yeah.
It's like your
bitch.
leg.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm thinking. Yep. So give me also give me a D4 roll, but with disadvantage.
All right, D4. I have to do disadvantage on this thing here.
Yep.
Wait, how do I know if it's actually marked with disadvantage on the bottom right? can click it.
The ADVDIS, and I think it glows,
Yeah.
right? Oh, it doesn't. Well, do 1d4. Oh, that's a good question. It's not doing anything.
The DIS doesn't like stay.
Well, just do it twice then. If it's
Yeah, that might only work for D20s, maybe.
maybe. Oh, well, Caden, you get just like a piston or a hydraulic piston that just broke. Just this arm goes jutting in the direction where this kick came from, and you get just a nasty punch to the thigh.
Ah, fuck, son of a bitch.
With only like one grunt in between his snoring, Sam just continues snoring and sleeping.
But who was taking first watch?
Dario.
All right, Dario. As the party begins to rest, and there's some commotion that happens behind you. Probably welcome, given the last day's worth of events. But as you are all beginning to wind down and you enjoyed some of your food, you keep an eye out within the cavern as well as around the entrance. And you do begin to see kind of the glow of these eyes, these almost yellow eyes that glow against the fires, the flames of the fire. And they approach a little bit closely, but every time you make a gesture or a motion or even like look them dead on, they scurry away. And an hour passes. And a second hour will pass. As they seem curious, as well as perhaps they're trying to do something. You're unsure, but they seem to be of little threat. And you can go and wake up the next person for the watch.
Might as well be me. I didn't sleep a friggin' wink.
Yeah, Caden's just kind of sitting back, laying back, tossing and turning. What is Caden doing?
He's not sleeping at this point. I'll take the next watch, and then I'll wake up Mr. Snorri Pants for the next watch, so I can sleep afterwards.
Well, as I go to tell Kaden, or just let them know. Well, I think you've probably seen as well, but yeah, it appears that we do still see the creatures that are inside the cave with us. Nothing to be alarming, but just keep an eye on them, and just let me know if they happen to cause too much trouble. Maybe I'll be able to communicate with them myself if necessary.
Yeah, I'll sit down in an area where I can kind of watch the camp, and I'll whip out a book and just kind of doodle in a book while I keep watch.
So repeat that last line.
I'll doodle in a book while I keep watch. I'm still watching, but I'm just jotting down in the book, basically.
Okay, give me a perception roll. And are you jotting anything in particular into your
No,
book?
just
Doodles?
Yeah. Okay, that's weird.
All right. You're kind of passively giving your attention to this notebook of yours, but your attention overall is still to your surroundings, much like Caden's experiences on Aurora Green and the moments, or maybe even the years leading to your very brief departure of Aurora Green.
For like a day or a week, maybe even. I got back here.
You are more than aware not to sleep unless you know that it is safe, or at least that has been kind of the routine that you've grown accustomed to on the planet. And much like with Dario's watch, you notice that these floating pair of eyes that seem to approach on occasion as the interior of this cavern just kind of rumbles slightly, and unfortunately to your annoyance, knowing that it comes from Sam, is causing a bit of disturbance within the cavern. But the creatures don't appear to approach you. As soon as you acknowledge that they are there, they seem to scurry off as well. But the first hour passes without incident.
I only have 1 hour watch, or do I have a little bit more than that?
Why was it an hour?
Oh, you just said an hour passed. This was like, am I done my watch?
Oh yeah, no. Just in case you wanted to do something within the time. But a second hour will pass, and you may wake the next person for the watch.
Yeah, I wake up snoring pants over here so I can get some sleep finally.
All right, I'll get up.
The plus side, at least I'll know if he falls asleep on watch.
First, I'll look kind of deeper in the cave.
I'll let him know about the
Do I
creatures.
see those dogs?
Looking deeper into the cave, you will spot them within the time of the watch, as they also, much like with Dario and Caden's experience, they will approach and try to stay away from you all. But as soon as they get close, maybe in some cases as close as 20 meters, where you kind of get a good look at really just how mangy they really look and malnutritioned and overall almost like exhausted. But as soon as, again, Sam, you shine your light their way, not that there's much juice without changing the battery at this point, or kind of make a gesture or motion or just simply looking at them, and they scurry off.
I just kind of look at them as they go shoo shoo, and then I'll keep my watch and look out the cave. Every once in a while, I'll look back to see if they're trying to get close and try to shoot them away.
Sure. And every time you look out of the cave, you notice through the darkest of the night, you can see the aurora up above in the sky, just again dancing away. The stars, not nearly as crisp and clear as they are in the... Remind me, how do you pronounce the asteroid belt again? Kior?
Kior, yeah.
Kior? Yeah. not quite as vibrant with the stars, but you don't get auroras back home where you're from. So it's a pleasant difference. But every time you turn around, hearing any subtle sound behind you, those mutts are closer. And every time you turn, you shoo them away. I need you to give me a perception roll.
Let's see.
All right.
Rolled a 20.
After the first hour or so, there was one incident where the hound was actually very close to it approached close to where Caden was, but you managed to catch them before it was within contact range.
Where we had our fire pit, I imagine the fire pit, you know, fire's out by now, but maybe there's a stick or something. I'm gonna try to pick one up and throw it at the dog that's trying to approach.
At it or near it?
Near it. Not, I don't want to hit it.
Okay. Give me a d20 roll just to make sure you don't get a nat one. But otherwise, you're gonna toss this stick in that direction, and I need to stop using the wrong.
Rolled a 18.
Yeah, you're fine. You toss it roughly in the direction, it kind of scatters and bounces off, and that stick, now that you're awake, is just the loudest thing that you've heard within this cave. Is it just echoes and kind of gives you a bit of a headache. It's late, you're tired, but overall, it does manage to scare the mud away, and it scurries off, and you don't see it return for the remainder of your watch.
Okay. My watch is ended. What is that now? 6? So do I just wake someone else up?
You may.
I'll wake up Maxine. I think Maxine hasn't woken up yet.
Right.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and wake up Maxine and tell her that it's her turn.
I'll get up and just give my gear a look over, make sure everything's in order while get ready to take my watch.
All right, Maxine, you do a quick once over, and much of it is ready to go as you left it before you went to bed.
All right. Can I specifically would like to keep an eye out for these critters, what's been lurking.
Okay. Now, for the first third of your time of keeping watch, much against Sam's kind of, his warnings, they don't approach this time for a little while. It's not until maybe the later half where you start to get this inkling of a suspicion that you're being watched, and with your watchful eye, you will kind of easily spot scurrying, or not really scurrying, but prowling along the outer wall, close and slightly behind the cover of these pillars, the two floating pairs of eyes that seem to kind of keep a watchful eye at you and the others.
I want to go into my bag, pull out ASEC Scout Menu number 13, shredded beef and barbecue sauce.
Nice.
One of my favorites, personally. And I'm just gonna start kind of tearing into that, getting that ready to be consumed, and just not shouting or anything to where it would wake anyone up, but just loud enough to make it heard for anything that is around that's awake. I'm just gonna say, if you know what's good for you, you'll stay back until I give this to you. Just trying to convey a bit more of a commanding tone. I'm in an apartment, so that's as much as you're gonna get over the mic.
I got you. So your call. You can give me a persuasion with a disadvantage, or you can give me animal handling.
Go ahead with the animal handling. Oh boy.
All right. The creatures, at your warning, don't make a move. In fact, they tense up and don't appear to move at all. However, there is one very noticeable change to their behavior, which is that their mouth appears to be dripping at the sides as their head, over the course of the next 10, 15 or so minutes, begins to slowly lower.
I think I'm gonna call this good. Whether, while I had this propped up against a rock or something to heat up, I'm just going to take the ration and just fully throw it away from the camp. Either, like, if they're still, I mean, we're set up in the cave, so I'm assuming they're...
Yep, they're in the back of the cave. You guys are towards the front of the cave.
Yep, so I'm just going to throw it as far into the cave as I can, just like the whole thing.
Okay. Your sudden movements actually cause them to flinch. And they don't flinch in a frightened sort of way. They flinch in a, almost as if trying to determine if they should fight or flight. And they each lower to the ground and bare their teeth for a split second, but you catch it with your very notable perception bonus. And they wait a moment, and you look at them kind of one at the words. You look at each one after the other, and their body is tense. But after what feels like a good minute of looking into their eyes and kind of ushering them to the little snack, without giving it a second thought, once they feel like you're no longer a threat, they immediately bolt and disappear to the darkness. And in the distance, you hear the sound of just sloppy teeth tearing into some rations. And
I feel like,
moments later, it goes silent.
yeah, during that whole standoff, my hand is just hovering over the sidearm just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, I'm just gonna use what time I have left to start going through and deleting excess pictures.
For some reason, as you go through these pictures, there appears to be a hell of a lot that seem to be within the same period of time. And as you kind of go through this reel, you notice there's a bit of a pattern as these images seem to get smaller and smaller and smaller of these flowers that, frankly, you don't really remember. They kind of look like the flowers that you took towards the beginning after exiting the landing craft, but aside from a few that you've decided were worthy to keep, as some of them also look blurred. In one of them, you actually find that... who was it? Was it Sam?
I give Sam, yeah.
Yeah, it was Sam, right? Yeah. In one of the images, you actually capture Sam, like part of Sam's face, and some of them are looking a bit sloppy, very unlike Maxine. But you get through a good few hundred images. You're efficient.
Just fully going wild on the button. Probably, if it weren't such high-tech technology, I would have busted that button.
Probably. But couple hours pass, and you were a bit unsure there after that first hour if these creatures were going to do anything, but they seem to have left you alone for the moment. And with that, you begin to see in the distance, the skies begin to lighten. The aurora begins to fade, not disappearing entirely, but with the sunlight becoming a bit more difficult to see. However, if you look carefully, you will find that there is still the slight dancing waves of vibrant green in the sky. But it does appear that morning approaches, and roughly, we'll say about what? Yeah, we'll say about 10, 20 minutes after you feel like it's about time to start waking everyone up. You hear a bit of a whirring sound coming from outside the cave as something in the sky, and you hear something fall and crash just outside the cave.
Does that wake everyone up?
If you feel that you would be easily woken by a large crash literally outside the cave, yes, it does wake you up.
Yeah, I'm up.
What the fuck was that?
I rifle in hand, and I'm moving to the cave entrance to see what's going on.
Maxine, you go out to the cave entrance, and you look up or down first?
Love that.
I think I'm gonna look to where this apparent impact would have happened first.
Okay. As soon as you get out towards the entrance, you caution yourself and peek out. And no more than 10, 15 feet from the cave entrance, you find what appears to be a white package that has the word Omni on the side.
Ooh, looks like maybe some kind of care package. You think we should
Okay, who's
open it?
poking it with a stick first? I grab a stick and I poke it.
Do any of you have any association with them?
Nope.
I didn't order anything. I've been asleep.
Order anything? What the hell are you talking about? Someone ordered this?
Sam's still sleeping.
I'm not kicking him again.
I'm gonna go wake up Sam.
What? We moving out?
Soon.
How do you wake him up, Maxine?
I'm up.
Ready to defend myself with one hand and using the other hand to shake him awake.
That sounds fun. I was hoping to say something interesting.
I started awake. Oh, yeah. Oh, everyone's already up. Give me a second.
There's something outside Omnicorp.
He's totally the guy that goes and takes a piss in the corner first right away, isn't he? Like, we're in the middle of doing something, he's like, oh, it's like, I gotta take a leak.
Oh, I mean, you don't pee the first thing you do every morning.
Not a fucking emergency. Okay, whatever. I don't care. I feel like.
And
I'm not sure though.
Maxine did ask if I. Yeah, that's probably my package. I get daily deliveries from Omni.
In the what? We're in the middle of freaking nowhere.
They're quite amazing. I mean, shoot, they've sent me packages in different planets.
What the hell did you order? We can order shit here? We could have got food?
I mean, I've had a long-standing subscription for all my gear.
Sam.
This better not be like some porn magazines or something.
Sam, as you're talking, you get the little chime on your Omni device that lets you know that your package has been delivered. Package roughly 15, 20 feet away.
Does it come with a picture of where the package landed, saying "Tell us how we did"?
There's a picture. There's like a geo-directional compass that tells you where your package is. It's very nifty.
Caden, this corp delivers to battlefields. If they couldn't deliver here, what would they really be worth?
It just feels like we're kind of in the middle of nowhere, and it's a little weird to get deliveries. I haven't gotten mail in like 10 years.
Did you remember to change your address?
I never had an address on that thing. I don't even know what this thing is.
I go pick up the package, and then hearing that it is for
Dario,
Sam, I
need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
He's gonna get zapped.
roll 16.
Okay. You got pretty honed instincts, and you immediately let go of the package as you begin to feel the hairs on your skin rise, and you're almost like a taser just went off. And fortunately, you had let go in time, but the box responds: "Invalid user. Please do not approach the package unless you are the designated recipient."
These things are pretty smart. Then, well, I guess you're gonna have to walk over and get the Sam.
Yeah. I shake twice, pull on my pants, and then I walk back out, and I'll open up the package and stock up on my gear and my cartridges.
And as you approach Sam, there's a brief message, not nearly as aggressive as the one from before, that says, "Sam Stonewell recognized. Thank you for using Omni."
Separate question. Do I need to hit long rest? Did we get that?
Good question. So yes, this is our first long rest using Foundry. So each of you, if I recall, should have an option somewhere on your page that has the long
on
rest.
the character page, just like a bed.
Yeah, there it is, left of your...
On your portrait.
So go ahead and put long rest there. That should, I believe, take care of the healing and spell slots. Yes, perfect.
Oh, nice.
And just
Consider it fortunate that you're all still connected.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. In all my travels, Omnicorp's come through with our shipments.
They are efficient.
I suck. Like, we're in the middle of nowhere. Why are we getting this still? Is weird.
He told them he wants the thing, and they sent him the thing to wherever he is on a regular basis.
No, I get that, but Aurora Green is like a backwater. Like, I grew up in the city, but still, this is a foreign concept to me. Like, whatever. Just don't worry about it.
So, new day. How do you think we should proceed?
There was that sound back the way we came, a little ways.
speaking of said
Might
sound,
be worth investigating.
Maxine, as you look in the direction and gesture towards the direction of where the sound was roughly heard, now that it is daytime, you see a rough trail of black smoke coming from the east.
Could be some sign of civilization, as rare as that is here these days.
What color smoke?
Black. And relatively
We haven't
thin,
chosen a
not
new
not
pope.
billowing.
They haven't chosen a new pope yet.
Man, it's fucking year 30,000 whatever, and there's still a pope.
So, I mean, smoke probably means something must have crashed there, or maybe some
Well, there
type of
was other
fire.
drop pods coming down.
Could be a crash, could be machinery.
Well, at least it'll be the closest that we've seen to life since I guess we crashed here.
Let's go check it out. Either way, if they're part of our exploration team, then we should see if they know more than we do about where to go. And if it's civilization, then we could stock up on other stuff like food and water. I don't think it hurts us to go check it out.
I agree.
All right then. I think we figured out that's what we'll do today. We'll go head towards that smoke.
Sure, like nowhere else to go.
What is that? Is that or back in that path where that storm was? We can see it. The storm has died down, but I don't know. Seems dangerous.
It's a bit difficult to see the north within this kind of little enclave that you're within. But what do you all decide to do?
I think we'll end up figuring out one way or the other whether there are storms in our path. Later, we can check this first. If it ends up being a dead end, we go north.
That makes sense.
Sounds like a plan.
I'll start leading the way after gathering my gear.
All right. You all manage to gather your gear and head on out. All right. Quickly maneuvering back to where you were prior. You once again have the two choices where at this point where the terrain relatively levels out and you have a rough view through a couple of high points, the storm that was far to the north has lessened in its ferocity as the arcs of energy in the sky and the distortion seems to be mellowing out but still seems to persist. And Maxine, when you enter roughly around this portion, this area here, you get another little ding from your visor that prompts Dynasty Network found, connected. Dynasty Network node found. Sorry, I think I missed a word there.
All right.
Everything okay, Maxine?
Business as usual. Keep an eye out.
And from here on, the area up ahead appears to excuse me. The area up ahead seems to open up, but up ahead is where you find the smoke. And in the rough distance, somewhere back here, you all begin to spot something, and this is blatantly obvious to each of you, that in the distance, you see an idle flame that seems to burn in the distance against some what appear to be trees. And at the base of the flames appear to be some kind of a craft that seems to be broken in a few parts up ahead.
Is it similar to the one we came down in?
At the moment, it does look to be very similar as the one on one part, much like the craft that you had all arrived in. You see the logo of Dynasty Abs Corp. But we are actually going to be calling this session here.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Survivors, maybe?
What was
Crystal
that?
loot, maybe?
Oh, man. Yeah, there we go. Next time on Horizon Exploration, the party finds themselves upon another crashed craft of sorts, and what lies beyond is yet to be seen, but to be discovered. So with that, we're going to be calling tonight's episode 3 a wrap. Keep an eye out for our next session, which should be happening next weekend. Same time, same place, right here. And we'll see what is this craft up ahead and what might lie beyond as the party continues their search for whatever it is Dynasty had planned, sending all these people to Aurora Green in search for artifacts, interesting discoveries, and the possibility of a core. And with that, thank you, everybody. We're going to go ahead and close out, and we'll see you next time. Thank you all for hopping on, and leave a comment. We are keeping an eye on it. And thank you to the 50+ subscribers of the channel. See you all next time.